up. It's warming up. Is there anyone
You
out
can't hear
there?
my air conditioning, can you?
No, no. I just turned mine
Ooh,
off.
that's
I can't.
perfect.
Yeah, I can't hear you guys. All right, let's see here. For everyone who's listening, make sure let us know if the audio is good, all that kind of good stuff. Make sure we don't have like my air conditioning was just running like 2 seconds before I started this up. So let us know if there's anything like that going on. Welcome to the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. Of course, I'm going to remind you guys to go to hankstrange.com, sign up for the email list over there, look around, all kinds of good links. We've got a link to US Law Shield on there. You guys can get an annual membership, save some money, plus send a couple of shekels in our direction, which is always much appreciated. Lola's got Lola's deals on there, all kinds of good stuff on there. You can find links to the different platforms we're on, etc., etc. Okay, as you know, we do this with I've been incorporating quotes a little bit lately. So this is from the late great Sean Connery, James Bond 007. In my opinion, the best one that ever did it. I think his character was Jim Malone on there, and this is from The Untouchables. He says, "You want to get Capone? Here's how you get him. He pulls a knife, you pull a gun. He send one of yours to the hospital, you send one of his to the morgue." That's the Who Moved My Freedom podcast way. That's why we're the number one Second Amendment podcast with a host with a mohawk. That's right. I had to amend that a little bit. I was gonna say the number one Second Amendment, but I got it in respect to Devin, Trenchwork Chronicles being on here. I got to be a little bit humble and shy.
Nah, Hank, I think we've discussed this before, but like when I came in the game, it was just you and Ken Blanchard, basically.
Oh yeah, Ken. Yeah. Oh,
So
Ken.
that's
Ken
the
is o-
GOAT, you know what I'm
Ken
saying?
is OG. Ken is
Yeah.
like. So let me see. Hold on. Let me see.
He's
Ken.
Master Splinter. That's
Yeah.
what I call him.
Ken is like Sidney Poitier. You know. Right. Right. Let me see. And then I would probably be like Denzel Washington. Right. And then you would be like who's the young hotness out there right
Michael B.
now?
Jordan.
Michael B. Okay, good choice,
Michael
good choice.
B. Yeah.
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan's. I think he's a really good actor, man. Did you guys?
Well, no. Michael B. Jordan would be my. Well, now if we're talking podcasting, then yeah. If we're talking about Second Amendment, it's my boy Mike Waller. That boy is.
Oh,
I call
okay.
him the real killer Mike.
Oh. Yes,
But
but
yeah.
Michael B. Jordan's a good actor. I don't know where he's at with Second Amendment stuff or whatever, but I saw his movie. Oh, what's
Well,
that movie
he's
that was
he's
on?
real good friends with Buck Doyle. He called Buck like the big brother he never had. So
Is
I
that
would
who?
say he's close to on our side.
Is that who? What's the name of the movie that he just put out where he's like a SEAL team or something like
Yes,
that?
that's the one Buck worked on him with.
Oh,
They were
okay.
together like
All right, yeah.
testing.
That was pretty good. That was a pretty good movie. All right, so listen. I know this is a little long opening here. Welcome back to the show. Here's what I'm gonna do. First of all, we gotta do the open. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start right there. Everyone sit tight, smash those thumbs ups, ring the bell. Big shout out to Franklin Armory. We appreciate them sponsoring the podcast here. We've got some really cool guests on this Thursday. I'm not doing a show tomorrow, so it's getting jam packed here.
Hey, final show of the week.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we're packing it in. You guys will see here in a minute. It's going to be fun. All right, here goes the open.
Welcome back to the Hank Strange Situation.
Sure, you smash those
Lifestyle
thumbs
of
ups.
the locked and loaded.
Ring the bell so you can be notified when we go live. Make sure you subscribe. There's the bell. There's my bell right there. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. The school bell's ringing. Okay, we are live. So listen, the Boomstick Babe, or Boomstick Babe, I should say. Is it the Boomstick Babe or Boomstick Babe?
Yes, I'm the.
You're the.
Not just
Okay.
A.
A. Okay. All right. C. Wow, we're good. All right, listen. This is the first time for Boomstick Babe here on the show, Alicia. So we do this thing called
Hey.
jazz hands. I don't know how macho you are. Everyone has to do it, including Devin. Yeah, there he goes. Hold on. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. I'm gonna
I
go.
can't even.
You
breathe
gotta
it
keep
in.
it up. There's Devin right there. I don't know. That's almost like where's yours, Alicia? Come on. There you go. All right, there you go, jazz hands. I hope you guys have your big girl panties on for this Thursday. Some
If
of
you wear them,
yeah, some of you might be going commando. I don't know. It's your
it
preference.
is hot here.
I'm not judging. I'm not judging anyone. This is episode 781 of the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. And our guests are Trenchwork Chronicles. There he goes, Devin. Trenchwork Chronicles. Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan. Okay. There is, like Denzel Washington's son is also a pretty good actor. But I didn't want. What's his name?
So is Ice Cube's son. I'll take Ice Cube's son too.
Yeah. But I didn't want.
These is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, I didn't want to go with that and Son You. You know what I mean? That's not that wouldn't be cool.
I would have taken that one.
But Michael
Den
B.
of
Jordan
Thieves was good that he did too.
Den of Thieves.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about Ice Cube's son was in Den of Thieves, right?
Yes. I don't know his name, but
yeah, what is Ice
Cube
Cube
Jr. Little Cube.
Yeah, there you go. I forgot what Ice Cube's real name is. Someone who knows better than I do will tell me. I forgot what the hell is Ice Cube's real name. I used to know that at one time. I guess if it matters. So yeah, we've got Trenchwork Chronicles. As I said, Alicia Boomstick Babe, what's up?
hi guys.
Welcome to the show. So this is your there's a story out there. This is your first podcast that you've ever done.
This is my first podcast. I've done a local kind of podcast where I was just harassed for an hour by people for being a Second Amendment advocate, but this is like the first real podcast I've ever done. So I'm pretty excited, that's weird. I didn't know it was episode 781. That's my birthday.
What?
So that works, yeah.
Happy birthday.
I know. I'll be 40 next month.
Wow.
I know.
Congratulations.
So,
yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. Listen, I'm 49. We won't ask Devin how old he is because,
my birthday's next weekend.
How old are you going to be?
29.
Look at that. I got 20 years on you, man.
Yeah. It's going to be a good weekend, though.
29. Wow.
That's why I'm going to try to make it next weekend to Atlanta to see you guys.
Oh, wait.
With you guys.
Wait, hold on. You have a party or something going on in Atlanta? What's
No. I'm going to a Kevin Dixie's Evolve 1 pistol class. And then I'm going to be on a panel at the fashion show.
Oh.
That's really it.
There's gonna the fashion show. I think you were telling me about that.
Yes.
Yes. Speaking of fashion show, Flying Rich wants to know, what is Flying Rich asking right here? He says, Trenchwork, is that a Black Swan tactical hat?
No, it's a Black Swan media hat.
Oh, yeah.
Same company, different branch.
Yeah. See.
Got a rep for the squad.
Yeah. Wait, what squad?
It's okay. Yeah, it's two of us. It's literally two of us.
No. Because that's what I was gonna say. Because Flying Rich has like a squad, so I didn't know if you were down with that.
Oh
squad.
No.
Or if
I'm
you
talking
even know
about Black Swan squad.
Yeah.
Myself and John Crump.
Yeah. See, you're OG with John Crump. These other guys are all brand new. They don't.
Oh yeah, nah.
Yeah.
I was with John when Antifa put him on a hit list.
O'Shea Jackson. Yeah, that's his name. O'Shea Jackson.
Yeah, someone said, Brick says that O'Shea Jackson, that's Ice Cube's son's name. And then that's also Ice Cube's name, right? Is it?
It's close.
Yeah, it's got to be that. And then someone put it, I think, and then Bricks also said, David Washington is the name of Denzel Washington's son. And you know what? I didn't know. The first place I saw David Washington is on Ballers, the thing with The Rock. You know that?
Oh yeah, the show. That was on, like, HBO.
Yes, on HBO.
Yeah.
And I don't even like sports, but I was like, oh, let me check. I think I saw some kind of preview. I was like, oh, there's a lot of hot chicks in this. I think I might watch it. And I didn't realize. Yeah, that show's crazy. And
that's why I don't watch it, because I don't like sports. So I was like,
I don't know anything about sports.
Me
I
either.
know zero about sports. Even the Caribbean ones, I don't know anything about. Like cricket, I don't know anything. Soccer, I know I could play soccer to some extent, but anyway, so so David Washington played a part in there of a football player, and I always thought, man, this actor is pretty good. I'm into movies and stuff like that. My real dream and goal is to be a filmmaker and make movies. So I think I have a good eye for talent. And I was like, this guy has like swagger and talent and all that kind of stuff. And it was later I realized that was Denzel Washington's son. So,
Wow.
good on him. And I think he actually played football somewhere. in some college or professionally or something like that. So, yeah, man, I think he's a good actor. And what was there was a movie that he was in, Tenet. Did anyone see
I haven't
Tenet?
seen that one.
Yeah. If you guys have seen Tenet, I saw it. It's kind of crazy. You have to make sure you're well rested or very high when you watch that movie.
What's it about?
Neither one of those are issue.
Yeah, it's okay, Tenet. Oh man, how the hell do I explain Tenet? So it's from the guy who did the recent Batman movies. You know, you guys, have you seen the Batman movies from recently,
Yeah.
like Dark Knight Rises or whatever? That guy, and that guy also did Inception, and I don't know if it's Inception Part 2, but there's this weird time travel thing going on in Tenet.
Okay.
So it's kind of like The Matrix, but going backwards in time.
Cross it all?
I don't
I'm writing
know.
it down.
It's weird, man.
Why?
I have to see. I've only seen that movie one time, and I understood it and everything. But I feel like I need to look at some of those, those YouTube channels that explain stuff to you.
Yeah. Okay. Since we're on this, Hank, since you're a movie buff, I have to ask you about this.
Okay.
Have you heard the conspiracy about like the Great Gatsby being the second part of the Titanic?
What? No.
No,
Look that
I'd like
up.
to hear that too.
Supposedly it's wild. It's like the guy the guy lives in the Titanic and then ends up at wherever the Great Gatsby is, and like that's why the dude in the Great Gatsby is like afraid of water. There's a whole bunch of like wild connections.
Really?
between-
Okay. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to. Did you see that on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to explore that. I always tell people, do you know this one? Do you know that the Matrix movies and the Terminator movies are the same universe?
No.
No.
Yeah,
What?
they're the same universe, and it's actually based on a story created by a black woman that was stolen and used for the Terminator movies that came first, and then
I have heard
then
that.
also
I
for the
heard
Matrix movies. Yeah. And she never. I don't know if she ever wound up getting paid anything, but she didn't have like lawyer money to really fight all those people. But the Wachowskis definitely ripped her off, and so did the guy from that did Terminator was James Cameron. But if you think about this, so in the Terminator movies, the robots take over and go to war with the humans and black out the sky. In the Matrix, the first thing they tell you is that the humans and robots went to war and the sky got blacked out and human beings had to go live underground. So the Matrix is part 2 to the Terminator stuff. Think about that.
See,
Think about
now
that
I'm
for
gonna
a
have
minute.
to take a weekend. And
Now I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
You could just get lost. You could get lost in these.
I like that.
Yeah, Special K said Tenet was a great movie. And what is this? LV Louis Cypher says the Joyride franchise is good. It's about a trucker who's a serial killer. I don't.
Okay, I love serial killer, psycho people
No.
stuff.
No, I don't like I don't like slasher killer type movies. No.
I don't like
I like
slasher killer
apocalyptic.
type movies. I like things that are based on like psychosis and people being psychologically malfunctioning
Oh.
kind of
So,
things.
yeah.
When I went to college, that's what I went to college for. Is I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to be a forensic pathologist. Grew up watching Dr. Michael Baden on HBO, and I thought he was like the man to be.
Mhm.
So I was like, yes, I want to operate on dead people and see
Okay.
what the heck is the cause
Yeah.
of their death. But
Yeah.
I just couldn't. I couldn't agree with the Hippocratic Oath.
Oh.
It wasn't for me.
Okay. So I was gonna say, and this may be very rude of me before we even like give you a chance to introduce yourself, but are there ulterior motives to why you like these crazy psycho killer?
I find
Is
them
it-
fascinating. I do. Because to me, there's always that question of nature versus nurture. Are
Mhm.
people created born evil? Is that possible, or
Mhm.
are these things taught and created through the environment, right?
Mhm.
And I've always been one of those people that says yes and yes. I think that there are people that can be born completely wrong, and I also
Mhm.
think that there can be people that are cultivated through society to be, a little bit off. But
Mhm.
if you look at things neurologically and psychologically, and the body's a telltale of that, if you operate on their brain and you see, the pathways of their brain, or, the sizes of their brain,
Mhm.
depending on sexual orientation, all these things, it's a dead giveaway because, to me, science is God's way of creating language and his magic in the world.
Mhm.
So that's just always been very intriguing to me to
Yeah.
just to study human behavior.
Yeah, and everything, everything exists in the universe, I think.
Oh
So
yeah,
you might not have seen it
absolutely,
yet, but every single thing exists. The universe is infinite. And so,
absolutely.
as crazy as this sounds, nothing's a lie and everything is a lie.
I completely agree. I'm a very spiritual person. I was
Mhm.
raised Catholic, but I consider myself extremely spiritual,
Mhm.
and I'm very in tune with energy and things around me. I mean, I'm from Colorado. I'm a super duper hippie. I'm a
Mhm.
gun-toting hippie babe.
Mhm.
So I don't really fall into a political category, but when it comes to spirituality, I think that's what I use internally to guide me through everything that I do
Mhm.
in life.
Okay. Okay. So listen. Let's use that as a reason here to switch over. Devin, I don't know. You've been on here before, right? I've had you on the show before. So, but I don't know if the folks out there are familiar with you. So I'm going to start with you, and then I'm going to go to Alicia. Just let the folks know out there real quick, like who you are, what you do, so they can, if they haven't seen you on here before, they can look you up. But for the people, who haven't, fill them in real quick.
My name's Devin Perkins. I host a podcast called Trenchwork Chronicles on Blog Talk Radio.
Mm-hmm.
Follow me on Instagram. The link's in that bio. I'm also in the embryonic stages of starting my outreach program with Walk the Talk America, the mental health organization birthed out of the Second Amendment community or industry, whichever one you want to call it. But my organization with them is going to be called Kids to Kings, and it is a urban outreach program that is focused on the study of epigenetics and CPTSD, basically just breaking down the psychological effects of generational curses for anybody in urban settings. So that's really what my focus is on. Got a couple other projects coming up. I'm going to be working on a Second Amendment series with one of my boys. And other than that, I
Yeah.
do everything I can to be an asset to Black Guns Matter, Maj Toure, and I'm on
Yeah.
the phone with Kevin Dixie every day. See whatever I can do for him too. So
Yeah. Yeah.
those are really it. Oh, and John Crump.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you cannot forget. Crump says that you're his protege, quote unquote. I don't see him in the chat. He might be sleeping right now for the first time
He
in a
just
couple
got
weeks.
off of his show too, so he
Oh,
probably is.
yeah. He says he's. Have you graduated from protege status with John Crump yet?
Based off of what I've seen in his basement, no. No. I won't even take
Oh
that,
boy.
man.
Are you even? I don't know if you're allowed to talk about the basement.
I am.
I haven't seen it. Yeah, so I mean, I haven't been privileged enough to be over there in that basement yet.
John's
So.
basement is ask Katie and Maj. They've both been in John's.
See,
basement.
all of you guys have been over there, so I guess I'm like the
You gotta come to Virginia.
I'm the one
Whenever you come
flavor
to Virginia.
I'm the one flavor of chocolate not allowed in the basement apparently. So what
As soon as you
else?
come to Virginia, we got you. But
Yeah, so
it's,
so
that's
he
me.
he rolls in the VA. That's your Virginia dude, right?
Yeah. For now.
For now.
I might be relocating soon, but we'll see.
Okay. All right. We'll see. Okay. So let's go to Alicia. Alicia,
Hi.
tell the folks who you are. Whatever you want the people. What should the folks out there know about you, and where can they look you up and see
Okay.
the things that you're doing?
I think the links in the whatever you post, but it's at the Boomstick Babe on IG. I have a website, boomstickbabe.com. It's very, very minimal as of right now because I'm horrible with technology. My name is Alicia Garcia. I'm a Colorado native. I live here currently. I got into the Second Amendment advocacy maybe in the past year or two, just based on seeing things here in my square state that I don't agree with, and I'm just kind of tired of seeing how laws are changing and the damnation of gun owners in my state as well as across the United States. I've always been a fan of gun owners. I've always, trained with guns. hung out with guns as time, past time with my dad, my uncles, my family. It was always kind of a way of life, just something that we always did. And when my father passed away about 6 years ago, I had an issue where my uncle actually stole all of our family's guns from my dad's house when my dad passed away, and it caused a huge issue for me. And I'm still dealing with that, but it made me realize that gun laws are not designed to protect gun owners here in the state of Colorado, and it kind of put a fire under my ass that I need to start doing something. And I wasn't seeing many things being done. I wasn't seeing very many people that are advocating for gun owners' rights, and I wasn't seeing people like myself that were pretty much in this industry. So I figured, there's nobody like me going to do it. I guess the weight falls on my shoulders to do it. If I don't do something, I become part of the problem. So here I am right now talking with you guys and working with people like Devin and KD, Ken Scott of the Provectus group to kind of figure out what I can do, what my strengths are, and how to take this to a higher level and, make Colorado a better sanctuary for the Second Amendment like it used to be that is no longer.
Yeah. So we had KD on, Kevin Dixie was on last night. Both of you guys were up there, at the NOC event just outside of Missouri, and I saw you guys up there, which was cool. So I don't know, Devin, have you had Alicia on your podcast yet?
No. Remember, this is my first podcast.
Yeah, right, of course, right. That's right. We're popping. Yeah, we're popping the proverbial.
I'm camera shy.
Yeah. So
I'm so camera shy.
Devin, if you have questions, feel free to jump in here and ask Alicia. Here's mine. The first one I would say. So you said people like me. What paint a picture for me for the people like you.
I hear all the time from people like, wow, when I make conversation or, just socializing, when people find out that I'm pro 2A, I'm a gun-toting chick, that they're like, oh, I would have never pictured you as a gun owner. And so that started me asking, like, well, what does the Second Amendment look like? What is a gun owner to you? And from what feedback I get, it means, old Republican white person that is, either, very, very conservative or kind of racist or stuck in their ways of some sort. And it's like, no, I'm a hippie chick. I'm spiritual. I have crystals all over my house. I, eat grass-fed everything and farm-to-table stuff. I love gay people. I love people who smoke weed. I support all of those things, and yet I still think that the Second Amendment is for me. And I'm a female. I'm very feminine outwardly. I'm huge tomboy inwardly, and I just don't fit in any categories. And when I was looking to see if I could find someone to mentor me, kind of to guide me and to bring me into this industry, I wasn't finding very many people like me. My name's Alicia Garcia. It's like saying Jane Smith of the Spanish speaking community. So there's not very much there's not a voice of Chicanos, Latinos, Latinas, people like me in this industry that are just regular Joes that care about protecting their rights, that aren't really vocally politically. But what I'm starting to find out is I'm going to have to start getting more vocal politically, because as much as I hate politics, it's the only way that I'm going to be able to protect the rights that I'm standing for. So yeah, I kind of really don't fit into a category. I'm just kind of a wide range warrior hippie chick babe who loves gay people that smoke weed and want them to protect their guns their weed with guns. Yeah.
The funny thing, Devin, this is America. It doesn't surprise me, but there are people out there who are surprised. What do you think about that? What do you think about it, Devin? What's going? By the way, shout out to Locked and Loaded Latinos out there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love you guys.
Those are two of my other favorites now. Yeah.
Joe and Ro.
Yeah, they're like what I am to John. What? Yeah, that's y'all to y'all, right? My bad, I fucked that all up.
What are you up to?
They are to you what I am to John. There you go. My bad.
Oh, okay. Now this is like, feels like it's some kind of composition test in English. I got to figure out, comprehension of. Yeah.
Nah, what you said was freedom. You know what I mean? Like, regardless of what you believe in,
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're not imposing your beliefs on somebody else
Mm-hmm.
unwillingly, then yeah, do whatever you
Yeah.
want to do.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing that I really don't like about America is that we're really okay with manufacturing crime. Like, why am I getting a speeding ticket if nothing has been done while I'm speeding? Like,
Mm-hmm.
all I'm doing is going fast. If I
Mm-hmm.
hit somebody else, I'm imposing my speeding on somebody else. Yes, I agree. I should have a penalty for that. But
Mm-hmm.
if nothing's happening, leave people alone. That's how I feel. Like,
Yeah. You're,
um,
I'm very
you're right.
anarchistic about a lot of things, and
Mm-hmm.
I completely agree.
Yeah. So one quick thing here. Let me do this. We got to do this.
Money, 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 money.
Yeah, that's a super chat, and the beautiful singing voice there was Gorillas and Guns, also from Virginia.
where can I get their cool hat?
Yeah. So John Crump Live says, "Where can I get that? Get the hat the young kid is wearing?" So
You ain't
of
a
course,
kid anymore, bro. You're a full grown
This is-
man.
this is John Crump. You don't understand
I
the
do.
the level of batshit craziness that swirls around in his
The
mad
funny part is
scientist.
he created his hat in like 5 minutes because he only had blue options. I was like, John, I need a black version of the hat. And he was like, yeah. So yeah,
Right.
he made it
Yeah.
like on the spot.
Yeah.
He knows where to get it.
Yeah. Black Sword Shinobi says 2A rights, 2A right for all, don't matter about skin color. Listen, so here's a couple of things I want to link to what like Devin said and what Alicia said. I think, Alicia, that this, like what you described, is really America, right? But there's people out
Yes.
there always writing narratives for us.
Yes.
And then there's a lot of people out there who believe those narratives. Everyone falls into that category. We sometimes ourselves believe those stupid narratives, and we have to figure out how to climb out from that. And lots of other people out there believe it for different reasons. And so that's why I say, like, your story is not a unique one in America. I remember one time I was at, this was years ago, I was in Atlanta at YouTube headquarters in Atlanta doing a YouTube thing, lots of different YouTubers there, and there were two black gay YouTubers that were there. That's what their channel was and all that kind of stuff. My understanding, one of those dudes, well, I don't want to like mess anyone up, but one of them transitioned even after that, into becoming a woman. And the thing is, so they asked me what I do, and I was like, I do gun stuff. I'm a Second Amendment advocate, and they were like, yeah, we want guns too. We would like guns too.
Yeah.
We need to protect ourselves, right? And so everyone falls into that thing that you were talking about. A long time ago, I always tell people this story. When I lived in New York City, I met a black executive who, I worked at a hospital. He was injured. I asked him how he got injured. He said he fell out of a tree. I was like, how the hell did a black guy fall out of a tree? He told me he was hunting, and I was like, man, I didn't realize that black people hunted. I was young. I was like 19. And he said, don't ever let people tell you what black people do and what they don't do.
Yes.
Right? So
Yes,
this is the thing. This is an old story, but people don't realize it. Black people in America have been into guns for a long time. Latinos in America have been into guns for a long time. Whatever kinds of people you find in America, Asian people of different Asian persuasions, they've been into guns. They've served their country. They've done all of that kind of stuff. And then at the same time, as Devin was saying, the flip side of all of this is that, yes, America is this kind of place where there's all these things that you do that are wrong. There are laws that you break that can get you in trouble, and there's just all these different traps set up. And it gets complicated, and we all fall into those traps, I think, if any of that makes sense.
Absolutely. I think
Yeah.
that's the whole point of creating all these laws that are happening now.
Mm-hmm.
In America,
Creating felons that are their freedom fighters,
especially with politics, right?
Mm-hmm.
The common factor on both sides is nobody trusts the government. So why can't we do a much better job at focusing on why both sides don't trust the government and fix it so we can at least trust who we're putting in office to, make these rules?
Yeah.
We
should never trust the government. We should
I don't
never
trust the government for
Yeah.
anything. I mean,
Yeah.
I've had so much backlash from a lot of people in my life, like, because of this path that I'm choosing to take, with me being so vocal about my Second Amendment advocacy, because they're like, oh, well, my God, I believe in what you want to do, but, I work for this part of the government. I work for this place, and they don't want to be seen. They don't want their voices heard because they secretly agree with what I'm doing, but they can't support me because they're afraid of the trouble that they're going to get into. For example, I know a lot of people in the cannabis industry here in Colorado that are, gun-toting people. They're either retired military, maybe they're not, maybe they're regular, average, everyday citizens, but they don't want to come out as gun owners because they fear the ATF, they fear, all these repercussions of saying, yes, I'm a proud American and I also own guns, and yes, I, am in the cannabis industry, or I support cannabis, or things of that nature, and they refuse to, put themselves out there. And I think that's one of the issues that we're having too, is people that are afraid to use their voice anymore, and people are afraid to speak out and to show their true colors and unite in their uniqueness. Because once people start stepping out and realizing they're not that unique, just like you said, that there's a ton of us out there, but they're so afraid of the repercussions of these invisible boundaries that the government has imposed on us. I mean, right now Colorado's under a lot of attack when it comes to all these House and Senate bills that are being propositioned right now. They're passing with flying colors, and they're disguising these bills on, with semantics saying, common sense gun laws, we're doing this to protect these people, blah, 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 blah. It's like, all gun laws do is take away the ability for, law-abiding citizens to protect themselves. It doesn't stop criminals from doing anything. I can't remember the last time a criminal followed laws anyway. So it's creating this division amongst the people. Either they're in support of it, but they don't do anything because they're afraid to speak out, or the people that are doing something are the people that are anti-gun. So it's like we're losing at a very, very fast pace.
Go ahead, Devin. Did you want to jump in there or respond to something? I mean, I think everything Alicia is saying is right on.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with everything she was talking about.
Yeah,
I didn't have anything to add.
You know what? I think we should never trust government, right? But we should figure out a way to trust each other. Now, that's with a caveat. I can't trust every individual person either, right? But I need to be able to trust, like, my family, my friends, my neighbors. To some extent, I need to be able to trust the people around me. That's really what America should be, right? Like, that's the promise of America. To me, as someone that was born outside of America and came here, that's the promise of America, right? That go ahead.
I think there's there's a lot of psychological problems that go into why people are so, I guess, hell-bent on staying on their sides. One, nobody likes to be wrong anymore. And like, I always say, like, if I'm the dumbest person on my team, we have a good team. You know what I mean? So, correction, I tell people I love being wrong because that's a chance to be right. The other part is people are afraid to actually stand on what they've actually said. If it's not on a, not behind a keyboard or anything. Like, you might have seen the study where, like, people are way more bold with what they say than how they are in person. And I think that's it. Like, the internet and social media has just embodied bitches.
Yes.
and empowered them to just talk instead of actually doing work. And
because there's no repercussions for what you say behind that keyboard. Yeah, man, you're allowed to curse. Yeah, you're good.
Sure. But yeah, it's just,
if I'm on here and we can't curse, we're screwed.
Don't go crazy, because Lola will start texting you. But let that be your guy.
Maj just dropped a shirt that says "Being a bitch is un-American," and I think that might be my new favorite shirt, because, like, that's what it is. Like, it's similar to this one that I have on now. Truth is the new hate speech. Like, anytime you challenge somebody, or even just ask somebody to go into depth of their thought or what stance they're taking, they somehow think that that's an attack. And if we can't even have a conversation about an issue, and you can't be honest and genuine about it, then, like, what the point is there to talk about it? Like, it's gonna be a war of words. And
But that's one of the that's something that's changed. What you're saying right there, it's true. I agree with the shirt from Maj. You know, but and it's true, man. And I think how we got there is that, from what you said, people can feel like they can say anything behind a keyboard, you know. But if you grew up old school, you said things, you're gonna see that person you're talking about.
Thank you.
You have to deal with it. But we don't have that anymore.
Even in the rap world, like, things used to pop off at award shows because of stuff that was said on the air on a radio show or something. Like words have repercussions, and I think a lot of people, especially in this industry too, have really, really forgotten that words have repercussions. And people need to start getting punched in the mouth.
Devin and I agree with a lot of stuff. I think him and I are kind of kindred souls in a lot of things. I met Devin the same time I met you, Hank, last year.
You did? Okay.
And, at the Libertarian 2020 conference when we were there.
Oh, right, yeah. When we were on the panel. Was that Tampa, Orlando, someplace?
That was in the armpit of Florida. What was it? It was Orlando. But ever since then, I will say this about the Second Amendment community is there's a lot of people that talk a lot of game, but when it comes to action and how they are in person, it's a completely different story. And I've been blessed to work with a lot of really awesome people since I've kind of come out the closet as a gun owner. You know, like, for example, I support everything you do. I love everything you do, Hank. Dev, I love you. You're my boy. Joe and Ro, Locked and Loaded Latinos, those are the homies. You know, I think everything they're doing is great. You know, Ken Scott of the Provectus Group, amazing. Katie, amazing people. And it's nice to know that there's people out there that are like-minded. We may not agree on everything.
Katie's all right. He's okay. Everyone else was pretty good on that. Katie, I don't know. He's just...
But
he's just right there at that level of being okay.
Some really crappy people also that it's like, especially here in the state of Colorado, it's like, if you don't believe, this paradigm of the way things are supposed to be, we're going to ostracize you. We're going to not work with you. And it's not. One of the things I've noticed also is it's about business. It's not about activism. It's about putting money in your pocket. Let's be in the shining lights, take photos. Let me take pictures of me with a gun looking cool, buy my stuff, believe my religion of what I'm promoting. And, being in this industry, when we were talking about learning who to trust, what I'm coming to realize is it's just the same as any other industry. You have to trust people to be themselves. You have to trust people to behave the way they're going to behave based on their previous actions. And it's like, when you meet people in person, thankfully, I mean, we've all met in person. I know who you guys are on a personal level. Everybody has this narcissistic persona. This goes for men and women in this industry right now that, it's like either buy into my way of doing things or stay in your lane, or I'm going to ostracize you and not work with you. And one of the things is like, well, how do we expect the world to get on board with us when we can't even get on board with each other? Because it's the same as creating unity and everything else.
We're human beings, like you're saying. I mean, I think that, look, I think I say this to people every single day. We are not equal. We are not all the same. What we should be, the promise of America is that we should all be treated the same under the law. And like we're saying here, there shouldn't be a whole bunch of laws anyway. But we're not the same.
Yeah.
So you have to take each human being for who they are, because no matter what you do, if you're doing the gun thing or you're doing some other thing, you're gonna encounter this type of creature called human beings. And I always think you can equate different human beings to supernatural creatures you see out there. You got some vampires, you got some Frankensteins, you have all these, you got some werewolves, you have all these different creatures that are out there, and ultimately you can't do anything about people who are like overly dramatic, people who their true intentions are very hard to figure out. All that, like, it exists. There's just no way around it. The only thing you can do is when you identify someone as being like, hey, this is a good person, I like how they roll, then you have to figure out like how can you find out a way to help that person and have them also help you, where you guys can work together, you could do your things, you don't always agree. I'll give you a perfect example is right here on this panel with us, Devin. This as a young man, Devin like has a specific way that he believes, that he sees the world and he believes things and expresses himself. And I don't think our things always match or whatever, right? I don't think our things always mesh or we always agree with each other, but this dude always treats me respectfully when I see him. And always shows me, huh?
Full transparency, the first time I ever met you, you approached me and long story short, at the end of the conversation, you said, if there's anything that I can do for you, let me know. And you gave me your personal number. So it was like, what else am I supposed to do other than give you the utmost respect for that? It's the same thing that's happened with KD, with Maj, any of the people that I consider my OGs. Yeah. And
those are real people. You're a real person. That's how we,
the funny thing is, like, people see me with Maj a lot. People don't understand, like, me and Maj argue on the phone probably more than we talk about anything that we agree about on the phone.
But I believe that. You know why I believe that? Because the culture that I come from, and probably a lot of people out there, maybe Alicia, maybe even you, arguing is love, but it's how do you argue?
Exactly.
Yes. You got to have a conversation of different opposing positions.
Can you
argue? Come to a common ground of understanding.
Exactly. Can you argue with someone? Can you, like, I'm telling you guys, I'm from the Caribbean. A lot of people understand Caribbean people, and I'm from Guyana. Guyana has Christians, Muslims, Sikhs, Hindus, people who are atheists. All of those people are related to me. Pretty much everyone in Guyana is related to me, right? And I've grown up in that environment, and I'll see when my mom passed, I saw a bunch of people who are related to me. Like, here's a preacher, here's a guy who's an atheist. They're there arguing with each other at a wake or something like that. They're arguing, but they're not fighting.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So we learned that a long time ago, and I think America was like that too. But somehow, like, we lost that art of being able to talk to each other and not agree. And exactly, I think what Devin is saying, like, me and Devin aren't supposed to agree all the time. I'm an older dude, he's a younger dude. Sometimes he needs to, like, go, hey, Hank, you really, really need to stop and take a look at this. And, you're maybe not seeing this wrong for something. Just listen to me out. And sometimes I need to be able to do that to him. We need to be able to do these things in order to get better and to move forward.
Sometimes you're seeing 6 and I'm seeing 9. You know what I mean? Like, we're both seeing something that is what it is. It's just from a different perspective. And we have to be able to share that different perspective. And that's how you grow. And that's how, specifically with what you're talking about, that's how we ensure that that generational gap isn't there anymore. Because there is a giant generational gap between the original 2A, like, the patriarchs of it, like Robert F. Williams and like Stokely Carmichael, like those type, and then there's that gap to where there's Ken Blanchard, and then there's the gap to where there's you, Maj, Noir, and then there's the gap to where there's me. You know what I mean? I'm all about closing that gap, and the only way we can do that is for people like you to bring people like me up, and people like me to be open to the criticism and constructive advice that the older people are giving. So yeah, I 100%.
We all make each other better, man. We all make each other better. That's what we're supposed to do. We're not necessarily supposed to agree, and I'm fine with disagreeing with people and all that kind of stuff. And for sure, I'm also fine with just not dealing with some people.
Yeah. Same here.
That's
Same
like
here.
that has to happen. That has to happen. But it has to happen.
One of the points of doing this is for us to be able to have these conversations and to open up, the barriers that we're having, because technology has allowed a lot of our youth to stop connecting with their elders. And when you're not connecting with your elders, you're doing this all the time. You're in your phone. You're disconnected from your environment. You're disconnecting from your elders. You're disconnecting from your community. And when I grew up, I mean, I knew all my neighbors. I still know all my neighbors. I, spent time with my grandparents all the time. I spent time with my aunts and my uncles. And that's how I learned a lot of the things that make me the strong woman that I am, is because I spent that time to be nurtured and to be taught and to be open. Because, when you're growing up, you think you know everything. But now kids are being raised by technology. And the kids that we're raising with this technology, they have depression now. They have high anxiety. They have all these, mental issues that other generations didn't have, because they weren't being constantly, bullied online or force-fed information, or creating this narrative that they're being force-fed of what to look like, how to be, what's cool, what's not, who to look up to, etc. And they're not getting that love and that nurturing and, that tough love sometimes from their elders in their community. Mm-hmm. So hence, that's one of the things that I'm seeing is going on to lead into us raising a society of bitches, basically. I mean, everybody's these weak-minded, weak-moraled, oh, that hurts my feelings, so you have to stop.
Yeah, can't
because
take
I
the
don't
stress.
like it. Yeah. It's like, and there are different forms of stress in our environment. There's positive stress and there's negative stress. We have eustress. We have all these different types of stressors, and you can either take that stress and be a diamond, or you can take that stress and crumble. And we're not doing these things in our schools and our communities to nurture our kids to withstand these types of stressors. And so when I hear something like Kevin doing the, Kids to Kings thing, I'm like, hell yes, this is something that we need. This is something that
is that Kevin or Devin? Is that Kevin
or Devin? Devin. Did I say Kevin?
Yes.
Did I say Kevin? Sorry.
That's all right.
Sorry, D. Sorry, D. I love you, man. I actually have been working on something here in Colorado.
Right.
I'm starting a nonprofit called The Highest Caliber. And if anybody listening is nationwide, anybody in Colorado who wants to help, please reach out to me. It's tough doing everything alone. I'm starting an outreach community program. I want to start it to be like an 8-week program that involves, financial education, gun education, de-escalation education, situational awareness education, where these kids are taught life sustaining skills, things that are going to help perpetuate positive growth and teach them how to stand on their own, how to encounter conflict, how to deal with conflict. And I would really love to do something that's like kind of a Pan Am with shooting of some sort, where, we have veterans and youth work together on these things. So there's a way to bring them into their community, get them connected with older people in their community, so they're having life experiences away from these things, away from cell phones, away from technology, that they're getting real experiences with real emotions, with hands-on, felt by their mind, their heart, and their souls, that are going to create them to be stronger individuals. Because we're not creating leaders right now in society. We're creating pacifists.
Yeah. And
it's terrifying, because these are the people that are going to be leading our country in the next 10, 15 years. And there's an old proverb that it's written on Auraria campus on Colfax here in Colorado that says, we are not, we're not inheriting this land from our ancestors. We're borrowing it from our children. And if we're not doing anything to nurture our children and nurture our communities, starting from the ground up, we're part of that problem. So it's like, what are we going to do? How do we become solution oriented in making these changes? And that's the only way that I could figure out how to make that happen. So if anybody out there is listening to this can, reach out to me that wants to help me. If you're good at IT, if you're good at marketing, if you're good at, anything that you want to be involved in, that, hit me up, reach out. I would love to, have people involved in that.
Yeah. So, and both of you guys are going to have to forgive me for this. Everyone's going to have to forgive me. And I hope that people do reach out. Just bear with me for a second here, because this is like a train of thought that I want us to go on here, right? I hope people help you out. Right, and I understand why you're doing what you're doing, and why Devin's doing what he's doing, and I know why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. You know what I think the big problem is, though? There's too many of us, like, starting our own things and leading our own things. So there's too many leaders and not enough followers. Okay? not enough people like being the base of everything. I'm really definitely not saying that about you. I'm not saying that about Devin. I think you need to do what you need to do, and he needs to do it, and I need to do it. Everyone out there needs to do their thing. But this is the problem that we're running into, why we're really not getting things done. Because, I really, really think that we need people to get involved in things just like you do, right? You need people to come in there and help you do your thing. But you know what? This is the reason why I'm having this conversation with you. You know what's going to happen? There's going to be people who want to come along and start their own thing before they help you do your thing. And in order to become a leader, you need to be a good follower. Do you see what I'm saying? So people do need to come in, and they do need to follow Devin and help him build something really important, and then go, okay, I helped accomplish this and I made sacrifices, now I'm going to go do my own thing. And I think it's the same thing with you, and it's the same thing with me. But we're stuck in this vicious cycle. It's one of the things that's equal to the problem of technology and the phones and what we're all doing, that we're all stuck in this cycle where now everybody has to be the leader. Everybody has to be the front man of everything, and no one is helping anyone else. I think this is what, I'm speaking for Maj here. I don't know. You talk to Maj more than I do. I guarantee you he's going through that problem. I guarantee you Kevin Dixie's going through that problem. Lots of other people out there going through that problem. Like, when are we going to get, like, the folks out there to actually help us when we need the help, instead of looking at it and going, I think I'm going to start my own thing. Why doesn't that person say, you know what? I like what this woman has to say. I'm in Colorado. I can help her out. I'm going to go do that for a couple of years.
That'd be awesome. I've tried. I don't usually say the try word. I think try is a failure word, but I'm saying it here because I have really tried and failed to, find people in this industry or work with people in this industry that want to do those types of things. And it's more of the, I want the glory, I just need you to be my peon kind of a thing. And to be quite honest, I really don't give a shit about the glory. And there really isn't much glory in this industry. There's no money to be made in doing an outreach program. I'm not getting paid. I'm taking time out of, everything that I've ever done. I'm using my own money, my own time, my own resources, putting my ass on the line to, make change. And I'm okay with, I don't need to be famous for it. If I can save one life, if I can make a difference in one person's life, that's enough for me. It doesn't have to be this huge movement. I think everything that's going to starts with an idea. It starts with one person and making a difference to somebody. And like I said, I've seen Devin's presentation at, a couple different events. I think everything that he's doing is great. It would be nice if we could all unite and kind of create some sort of network for that to happen, that we can, share resources, share, everything that we have to make this a web of help across the United States in different states and different communities. That'd be awesome. And I'm definitely open to that.
It just doesn't happen that way. Now, I know for a fact Devin helps a lot of people out there. I know he helps KD. I know he helps
I was going to say,
but
what you're saying is the issue that I've also noticed, and that I've literally done my best just to amend that issue. Like, that's why I said I tried to be the best asset I possibly can, because you have to be useful. You know what I mean? So with KD, with Train and Learn, he'll tell you, when we were talking about it, I asked him, I was like, what do you need me to do to help make this thing successful? And he was like, just attend and show up. I was like, no. I was like, I get Train and Learn every day on the phone with, like, 24/7. Like, I have a line that not everybody else has. So what else can I do to contribute to this event to make everybody else have a good time? And that's when, he put me on the staff, and I was 10 toes down. Whatever he needed me to do, I was going to do. Same thing with the reason why Kids to Kings became a thing was because Mike Sedini with Walk the Talk America wanted to start getting into the urban demographics. His plan was to do it with Maj, but Maj was so busy at the time with his campaign run in Philly that he basically was like, well, you just do it. And I was like, all right, well, that's what we're going to do. And it had already been something I wanted to do. So it was just a perfect time for real. So
Yeah. I mean, and I know.
be a genuine asset. That's what I can say. Like,
Yeah.
like you said, people come in and they want to branch off. Like, the only reason why I'm branching off is because people, like, essentially made me branch off.
No,
Like, I'm
ultimately,
all about being-
it's time for you. It's probably time for you. I've seen you doing it for some time, right? I've seen you helping people for some time. I'm just saying that, right? So I'm not trying to say this about you. I'm trying to have a
No,
discussion.
I'm saying,
like, we're
I'm
all
agreeing
here,
with
and
you.
yeah, I'm trying to
agreeing
have a discussion. Some other people out there need to listen to. I've seen you doing it. I know for a fact, Alicia. Like, we haven't known each other that long. She's always been supportive and all that kind of stuff. And the problem is, this is why, we're not. The best way for me to put it to you is like this: everyone wants to go to heaven. No one wants to die, right? That's the problem that I think a lot of times we have, and we can solve some of our problems if some folks out there would go, yeah, you know what? Okay, I see this person. I think they have what it takes for me. You have to have a level of trust to go out there and do things for people and big them up. Really, that's what it is, right? If you're helping Maj, if you're helping Kevin Dixie, if you're helping Alicia, right? If you're helping Trenchwork Chronicles or Boomstick Babe, you're pushing someone else up. And that takes a certain level of confidence. I think when I see everyone in the world trying to be the leader and everyone's not a leader, it makes me go, damn. And people might think, well, okay, so what have you done to do that? I've done that. People might see me in front of what we're doing now, and they look at Lola and they know my wife is a pharmacist, and they're like, oh, Hank's just lucky. He has someone that makes some money supporting him. They never saw when I met Lola as a college student, okay, and I was working and I helped put her through college and help her have a place to live, and I got married to her and we had kids, and I put everything on hold to do my part to raise my kids while my wife built her career. No one sees all of that. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I had the confidence in myself, as anyone may see, like, hey, this is a very aggressive guy or whatever. I stepped back and I followed so that you could see me now and think like, oh, maybe this guy wants to lead. This is what people need to do. This is one of the things that's wrong and that's holding us back as a community from really accomplishing what we want to. And I just feel confident with you guys that we can have that conversation, hoping some other people hear that conversation, and realize like how powerful it is and what a big difference it would make if people started doing that.
I agree.
Definitely.
Yeah. A couple of things. Go ahead, Devin.
I was going to say that to add to that, I think a lot of people get caught up in what seems like I guess notoriety in being a leader, but like you said, there's no acknowledgement. Like Maj goes through it every day with people that want to somehow make him compromise what he's doing as the leader of Black Lives Matter. Mm-hmm. So like that's the side that nobody sees. They only see the fun, literally freedom to do whatever he wants type of stuff. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's like, yeah, like you said,
a lot of people see Maj as only picking fights. They don't see him as putting out any fires. But that's because they're not really looking.
Right. And then they don't see the fact that he's one of the few that will always open a door for somebody else. Mm-hmm. No matter what you're doing, as long as you are 10 toes down about it and he understands what it is, he's going to find a way to open a lane for you. Mm-hmm. And yeah, a lot of y'all are like that. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's the genuine, I guess, flowers that you guys get back that people see. Mm-hmm. That gets glamorized, but it's like if you're not doing what these people are doing, you can't expect the same level of respect.
So listen to this. Ultimately, you don't make it anywhere. It doesn't matter what level you make it on, like what ranking you have. It doesn't matter if you're ranked at number 20 or you're ranked at number 1 or you're ranked at number 100, right? In order for you to get anywhere off of 0, someone out there has to believe in you. So for sure, like there's lots of people in this chat right now who come here every night. I do this craziness 5 times a week usually. Like this week is 4 times a week. And there's people out there who show up at this time. and take 2 hours out of their lives, and they're in here hanging out, talking to each other and doing things. So that's how you get off of zero. There are people who do that, so I'm not trying to say there aren't people who do it. That's how you've accomplished things. That's how Alicia has accomplished things. Anyone who accomplishes something, there are definitely people who say that. But for us really to go forward, one of the things I think that's happening nowadays is everyone wants to be the star. Everyone wants to be in front of something. I'll be honest with you guys, I wish I could just play the background.
I
hate being in the front of the line. I'm hate camera shy. I mean, you guys have asked me to do the podcast a couple times. Other people have, but it's like I don't want to be a fame
you are the
man.
last
I just
person.
want to make a difference.
Yeah, but you're a natural.
I doubt it.
You could be on here by yourself. No, you're good. You could be on here by yourself. Let me just switch a little bit. I know that. So back a little while, Crump. Let me see. I got to give Crump his recognition, or I am going to hear about it. So there he goes. He gave us
money.
He says, Devin, tell the story about our first meeting. So that's from Crump, and then I have another super chat that I'll get to after that. But Devin, how did you first meet? I guess he wants you to tell that story. I don't know.
I went to a Northern Virginia 3%er group meeting. And John was there. And
John was at a 3%er meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Me and John are part of a 3%er group.
Okay. Okay. All right, cool.
But, I mean, long story short, after the meeting, John walked up to me and asked me what I wanted to do with this Second Amendment stuff. And I was like, I don't know. I've been trying to start a podcast for a while. And then he was like, well, I have an online podcast that I basically don't use. If you want to put together a show, go ahead. And I've been running ever since.
Yeah.
So, Big shouts out to John.
Yeah, a lot of people think...
He was the first person that, like, listened to my crazy ass and was like, I'm going to put something behind this kid.
Yeah, a lot of people think that John wants to be out there or whatever, and I think John is really actually very introverted. But he wants to make... I think... This is me saying it, not him talking about himself. I think he genuinely believes this, and he wants to do something, and he realizes, just like we're talking about here, he may have to put himself out there in order to do this, right? Because you can't always rely on other people, and that's why he does it. But he pushes more people in front of him than what he really does for himself. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we'll get into this. Let's get into this. This is from Alaskan Ballistics.
Money.
I appreciate Alaskan Ballistics' money, especially with what's in this comment, as well as him like supporting us, coming on the show, all that. So he says, let me throw this back up here. I was demonetized today. Darn liberals. Oh shit. So that's messed up. So I'm assuming he was demonetized by YouTube. I know a lot of that is going around, and it really does suck. So I don't know what we could do to help you, Alaskan Ballistics. Let us know, like, if you're still out there, what the plan is, or what kind of help you need. What do you guys think about this? I don't know. Are you guys monetized? I know I am. So
I have a question more than anything. Is what are freedom pages doing to combat all? Because there is a gold mine in online broadcasting. Like, that money is getting made, and more importantly, it's starting to be denied to other people. So what are we going to start doing to, in some way fight back? I know Parler started their thing, but that's done, I guess. But, like, I don't know. When are we going to get a real freedom of speech YouTube?
Let's see what Alicia's putting up here.
Joanna, I see her comments in the bottom wall.
Okay. Love notes to Joanna. I'm kind of jealous. Good question. When are we going to start fighting back? I think there are people fighting back. I think there are platforms fighting back. Specifically, though, when it comes to the Second Amendment or the gun community, there are some people that are attempting to fight back. There are some platforms out there. But a lot of what we're talking about is what's getting in the way. And I don't know if we even need this to come from a firearms platform. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't
It
know
just
that
needs to
we.
be free. That's why I said freedom.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
freedom.
Yes. Exactly.
Everybody.
Yeah. I know
But
you're very deliberate with what you say, and I
no,
think,
I'm
but I
just
think
saying,
that's the
like,
problem.
we
From.
have
Mhm.
with the Second Amendment world, we can learn a lot specifically from the like cannabis industry. The cannabis industry did a very good job from, back then when
Mhm.
it was weed made white girls want to sleep with the black jazz musicians to now it's literally about to be legalized in Virginia. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
We could look across the aisle and be like, huh, how did they do that good of a job with their PR to now making it being completely socially acceptable? I
Mhm.
think the Second Amendment world is doing themselves a disservice by not aligning themselves with other freedom industries and learning from them and then applying that to the fight that we're fighting. But that's it. Sorry
I
about that.
agree.
Yeah. I think
I
you're
agree. I
right.
think
Yeah.
Second Amendment people are very lazy, especially here in Colorado. Everybody talks about it, but they don't do anything. If there's no unity, there's nobody showing up and actually getting things done. They sit there in the shadows. Like when it comes to the cannabis industry, everybody's proud. And it's like
Mhm.
everybody's out there, like pride. Hey, let's get this together. Let's promote this. Let's promote that.
You know what we
And they
probably
have
need?
unity in their numbers when they
We
do
probably
that.
need a
But
Second
nobody in the
Amendment
Second
movie.
Amendment does that.
Say that
What'd you
Another
say?
again.
movie, Buff. We
Mhm.
probably need a Second Amendment movie. Like, yeah, we have all the
We really
tactical
do.
movies with Michael B. Jordan and
Mhm.
the John Wicks, but like, I mean, like a real hardline Second Amendment productive or a production of a movie.
Are you talking about a documentary or like an
No, I mean
actual
like a
fictional
movie,
movie? Okay.
a
Like a
movie, like
movement.
Mhm.
something that will
Movement.
gain interest. Like we can do documentaries for days, but I mean like a nationally recognized like
Mhm.
film. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think so what we need is kind of like a sugar pill as a movie, right? So in other words,
Yeah.
we need and this is what art is. And a lot of people, if they wonder like what I really am, like what part do I play in all of this stuff, I consider myself an artist. If you want to know what I really am, that's what I consider myself, an artist, right? And so that's the part I play here. I'm not a like ex-military or ex-law enforcement or anything
Right.
like that. I'm an artist who happens to be into guns and the Second Amendment and freedom, etc. And art is that, And if you look at things, if you look at it through time, I remember when I was in high school, and my liberal teachers were pushing the book 1984. I remember that. My liberal teachers, some that were gay or Jewish or this thing or that thing, they were like 1984. You guys got to look at this. The government. But you flip that to today, those liberal teachers are like, oh no, this book must be burned. Seriously.
Yeah.
That's
Complete
what
flip.
we're facing, and but this is the power of art. You have the ability to influence people at the same time that you're entertaining them, and it's almost kind of like a sugar pill that you put that in there. So saying all of that, I think that there are some movies out there that we could put it. I don't know if their original intention was to put forward the Second Amendment, but I think there are some movies out there that do a lot of good for the Second Amendment, but I don't know if there's one that's deliberately like, hey, this is what we want to do. We're going to wrap it up in this story without being overt or blatant about it and put this message out there.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about movies, though, I mean, movies is one of the industries that kind of help glorify stupid gun behavior too. You know what I mean? So it's like, how are we going to approach that without it glorifying, irresponsible gun ownership? Because that's why the movie industry is why people think guns are bad. I mean, guns are glorified in one way, but then they're demonized in another. There's no gray area that, nobody's
I don't think
talking
it's
about the good that
movies.
guns
I
do.
think it's more entertainment than movies because most of the time in movies, guns are being used for the good guy to kill the bad guys. Like I would say in entertainment, and this is where black people have to take responsibility for it. We're the ones that push the narrative that all we're gonna do is commit crimes with guns through our entertainment. You know what I mean?
Through like hip hop or whatever.
Yeah, the hip hop culture. Hip hop culture has been the worst thing for black gun owners. And now we are seeing the flip of that, and we're starting to see more rappers talk about responsible gun ownership. But we still have to acknowledge what we did with our entertainment and the hip hop culture as a whole, with creating all of the gangster movies and just really trying to be the black version of what the early crime era was.
Yeah. I think you know what I think. Like when I was a kid, we it didn't take that much for us. I have like two brothers and a sister, right? And my sister's kind of late in the family tree, so she was a lot younger, than the rest of us were. When she came along, she was like the youngest. But anyway, so my two brothers and myself, we made everything into guns, right? We took sticks. Sticks were guns. We took paper. We took plasticine, which is like a Play-Doh kind of thing. We took everything, and we took Legos. Anything you gave to us, we made into guns. And I think, oh boy, so yeah, we got John Wick joining us. So I think because of that, this is like a human being type of thing that happens. I saw my two sons do the same thing. We never deliberately pushed guns on them, but they always chose guns. So the reason why I'm saying all that, there's something intrinsic, something programmed in human beings to be attracted to weapons, to claws, to ways of defending themselves. And with that comes the extreme, right? You always have things that are way extreme of that, and and then things that are responsible in that. John Crump, what's up?
Okay, I came on for two reasons. One, Devin, your mic is backwards.
You really had to come on just to say that?
Oh Lord!
You're supposed to talk into where there's a blow. That's why it's kind of like echoey. It will.
Yeah, that red dot.
My audio was fine.
Yeah, your audio sounds fine. I don't know what settings you have on it, but let's all look at you now and pick on you.
You see the
that red dot is supposed to be facing you.
Oh. Well.
If you turn it around. Let's see how it sounds.
I'm in.
There you go. Tom.
Now it's like that.
There you go.
Sure.
So, do you have it? What pattern do you have it on?
No, you're not supposed to do that, Devin.
What the? John, get out of here.
Talk towards where it says blue. Do you see the logo? Talk towards the red dot.
Talk towards the red dot. So just leave it like this?
Now you sound all
Yeah.
seductive.
See, it sounds a lot better.
Okay, John. Is
976 Trenchwork Chronicles.
That's okay. That's your one thing that you've embarrassed Devin. Okay. What's your second thing?
All right.
Yeah.
And the second thing is, you're talking about TV shows and stuff like that, and I kept on saying in the comments, but you kept on ignoring me. But there was a show called Jericho that was on like CBS
it's still
or
on
something
Netflix.
like that.
It's like the best show ever. Watch
it's still on
that's
Netflix.
Not really about the Second Amendment. That's
more
more apocalyptic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but one of the lines that they had when the forces took over, and they're like, "Well, we're going to need your guns." One of the leader of the town of Jericho, which is the leader of the good guys, basically has a comment saying, anytime a government says we need your guns for your safety, it's not for your safety, and you shouldn't give them up.
Yeah. Okay.
And then they discontinued that show.
Yes, and I have two things also, John.
Why.
John, I have two things also. Number one, you obviously got some rest. That's number one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I could tell from you're right back to John Crump levels. You definitely got some rest. Number two, you can't just come in and out. Since you're here now, we're gonna talk about some new shit, whether you like it or not. So. Since you got your rest,
no,
I don't want to hear. No.
Stuff on you.
I got a question.
Okay,
did y'all hear about the 6-hour lawsuit?
No. Okay. Okay. Go ahead. 6 hour. What is that a thing?
No. Supposedly there's a new 6-hour lawsuit that came out yesterday. John, I would expect you to know about this.
Yeah, John. Yeah.
Yeah, John.
What's up with that?
What's up with
John.
it, John?
I don't even know you, but yeah, John. What's up?
Are you talking about the magazine suit?
I don't know. I
have no clue.
Stig is getting sued.
6 hour suing XD over their Hellcat magazine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Apparently, it violates the patents or something.
Yeah,
I think that's what you're talking about. I mean, there's bigger stories out there.
Yeah, gun companies are always throwing frivolous lawsuits at each other. I believe that's called
like the Glock and Smith and Wesson lawsuit.
Yeah, I believe that's called business.
SDV.
Yeah,
that they had to pay him like $7 a unit.
No, Glock and Smith and Wesson lawsuit was legit. Back in the day, Smith and Wesson didn't have any sugar fire guns or polymer guns, and Glock was taking over the market because they were doing something where they said, "Hey, you want new guns for your police department? Let's do a trade. You give us the your old guns, and we'll give you brand new Glocks." And a lot of police departments did that.
Yeah.
So Smith and Wesson was getting killed on the polymer market. So the leader of Smith and Wesson at the time came into a board meeting and said, "We need to have a polymer striker fire gun." And they're like, "It's going to take a year to develop it." And he looked at his legal team and goes, "If we copy Glock, how long will a suit take?" And they said, "Oh, probably about 6 months." And he goes, "Let's do that. Copy him."
Yep. As long as
so they made the gun knowing that they were going to get sued.
That's what that's what Ruger did to Keltec. Ruger just completely stole a design from Keltec and put it out there and got away with it. And even came out with a second version of it, and Keltec didn't come out with a second version of it. That kind of stuff happens. Also, I'll just tell you this. Glock is one of the companies that, since I've been doing this, I remember a time when former Glock executives, actually, like a bunch of them, I think it was like 5 of them, all got arrested within the same week because of like corruption that Glock was up to. Where basically these executives were doing kickbacks and stuff like that with different police departments, like giving them kickbacks and money to buy Glocks from them and all that. I remember people getting arrested over that.
Yeah, I mean that's what goes on in the industry.
Didn't they just turn that into an actual like program? Is that what their Blue Line program is or whatever?
No. Basically, they're saying, going to the people ordering it, saying, "Hey, if you guys choose Glock, we'll give you like $5 for every Glock that your department buys." Back to a specific person.
Yeah, that's a kickback. Kickbacks are illegal. Yeah.
So it's definitely kickbacks. I do have some other stories.
No, I'm not done. I'm not done. You can definitely tell us your other stories, but since you're here now, John Wick, we're gonna keep rolling. So you just sit tight for a second.
Why haven't you allowed Hank in your basement yet?
Yeah, good question.
You should come over. My basement is just a regular basement.
I don't. Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah. Now I'm scared. Something, he's. I feel like I'm gonna go in there. He's gonna be like Vin.
Is there lotion for the skin down there?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna be like Ving Rhames. He's gonna go. He's gonna go all medieval on me.
I have a smaller arcade and a game room in my basement, and like a small little movie theater and stuff like that.
Okay, listen, John. I'm gonna bring up this story. I don't know if you're aware of it or not. You probably are, so I'm gonna share this. I know that my other guests here are aware of it, so let's see. So this was breaking news today from what I saw. Florida GOP candidate threatens opponent with Russian-Ukrainian hit squad in leaked call. That's according to a report. A Florida GOP candidate was caught in a secret recording published by Politico Thursday, apparently threatening to send a Russian-Ukrainian hit squad after his primary opponent to make her disappear. In a 30-minute call from last week's that was obtained by Politico, William Braddock told conservative activist Aaron Ozlovsky that his competitor Anna Paulina Luna, that we all know, is not an issue when Ozlinski asked what would happen if Luna is going to win. She's going to be gone, period. This is a quote. That's the end of the discussion, Braddock could be heard saying. How do we make her go through? I just don't understand that, Ozlinski questioned before Braddock replied. I call up my Russian and Ukrainian hit squad, and within 24 hours, they're sending me pictures of her disappearing. So this is like a real thing that happened when someone, I think we are all aware of Anna Paulina Luna, right? When she was running, she's a gun person. She's also happens to be very attractive. I didn't really notice that, but...
John, were you at the Defend Freedom Action Summit with us when she was there? Maybe not.
I don't know.
Yeah, she's awesome. She should have.
Cool.
She should have won that thing. But this is what I'm saying about Republicans. There's some crazy ass Republican here in Florida actually threatening her life. Man, what's up with that?
Don't tell people that you have a Russian-Ukrainian hit squad. Igor and I don't know.
Yeah.
You guys, Igor, go away. I wasn't calling you. Yeah, you shouldn't tell people you have a Russian hit squad, Ukrainian hit squad, because that's not exactly the best thing to do. They
So
don't think that.
what's the deal with this story? What have you heard about this?
I think it might have been just all talk, honestly. I don't think you really had a Russian Ukrainian hit squad. Some people spout off of the mouth and they want to seem like they're bigger and badder than what they are, so they make up stories about having Russian hit squads.
Yeah, but this GOP guy, this Republican sounds like probably one of the dudes that's responsible for red flags and stuff like that out of the Republicans here in Florida. I don't know what his voting record is.
He's not as strong
think,
on gun rights as her.
Okay, go ahead.
Joanna on Latina Locked and Loaded, she said that she actually interviewed her.
They did, yeah.
Yeah. One of the things about
I'm not surprised.
Florida is really weird because you have like the pro-gun Republicans, then you have the anti-gun Republicans more than any other state that I've ever seen. But then again, it's Florida.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes, you're right. It is
Rich
Florida.
is there. So.
Yeah. Yeah, Florida's a little crazy. Florida's a little crazy. Okay, John, I'm going to hit you with another story. That Anna Paulina Luna thing is crazy enough. But let me
I came on to give you some
No. Okay, no, we're going to get to your scoops. We got to make the people wait. This is how we do.
Didn't you just have fireside chats for like 2 hours?
Yeah.
Didn't you give everybody your scoops already,
No,
John?
I'm keeping him here till the end of the show.
No, I didn't give the bigger one. I saved that for Hank's show. I wanted to surprise him.
We're going to get to it.
Early on in the week.
We're going to... Yes, exactly. Hold on a second. I've got another one I want to bring up here. Okay, McCloskey's plead guilty to misdemeanor charges. Forfeit firearms used in confrontation. Mark and Patricia McCloskey, the St. Louis couple who sought to protect their property and lives from the rabid BLM mob marching down their private street, pleaded guilty to misdemeanor charges and agreed to forfeit the firearms they used in the showdown last year. Mark McCloskey spoke to reporters from the courthouse steps on Thursday and said he'd do it again to protect his family. I do it again, McCloskey said from the courthouse steps. Anytime the mob approaches me, I'll do what I can to put them in imminent threat of physical injury from guns that are empty. No, I just added that. Okay, so what is the deal with that?
Well,
I have to question his fashion sense and his wife's fashion sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they pleaded guilty with. I mean, they're not really gun people, so losing those guns really didn't hurt them because they were actually.
I could tell they're not really gun people because, like, a real gun person would never plead guilty to that. A lot of stuff that they've done here, I knew that they're not real gun people, but they obviously don't care about our fight because they just pleaded guilty to this and walked away. But where a lot of us, people on our side are supporting them. And I'm not saying wrongly. I think you have the right to defend yourselves. These people just did a lot of stupid shit. And it's just funny to me that this story is ending with more stupid shit from them. It's my opinion.
Yeah. This is one of those stories I don't think we as a community should, highlight. Call it just like you're calling it. Like, these people are not a part of what we represent. And Didn't they only have the guns because they were studying them in a case?
I think those guns, at least one of them wasn't even real.
Yeah, hers wasn't real, and the only reason he had the AR was because he was studying like the functionalities of it.
I think he had. Yes, I think he
had
cases against.
Firing.
Yeah, they have a case that they were going against some firearms company out there. But by the way, here's the thing that made me mad about this.
Anti-gunners.
Yeah, here's one of the things that made me mad about this. Feel free to jump in here, Alicia. I don't know if you're familiar with this story or not.
I am. I just think that these people are ridiculous, and I think that they don't highlight anything that has to do with the Second Amendment. They violated pretty much every safety rule, and they make gun owners look retarded if we even bring them in part of our community.
Yeah, one of the things that was really stupid about this that I have to say, there were actually firearms companies and companies in the firearms industry that were offering these people free guns and all kinds of shit. Like they were the Messiah, come to Earth or something like that. And it was really annoying to me because this is the kind of, like, what the hell?
Because there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Oh, there's...
Hey, Devin, I got a plan. You get a bunch of your friends, you march down my street. I will do the same thing. And when firearms companies offer me guns, you and I will split them.
Yo, that could work. That could really work, John. Except
Oh,
we're
boy.
gonna have to worry about
Please
all
don't do
the
that,
other
guys.
Tesla drivers in your neighborhood. I mean, hey, it could work.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll be right in front of John's house.
Yeah, that could
On
go
the
so
local
badly
screen,
wrong
dude.
on you. Somebody in that neighborhood could be legit
Real
and
fast.
not have fake guns with fake bullets. You know, and something.
But they don't have a gated commute. Well, never mind. Let me stop. John, you don't want to talk
Listen.
about like where you live on the show.
Yeah.
That's
We
crazy.
all know that he lives next to senators and congressmen and
Yeah,
former presidents and shit
Exactly.
like that. Yeah, I think we're
He
so.
lives in East Coast Silicon Valley.
Yeah. I don't know, this whole thing. You know what? It reminds me of when Keltec, which is a company I like, when Keltec gave Zimmerman, because with the whole thing that happened with Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin, right? Zimmerman's gun was seized from him by the cops, and I think that was a perfect storm. If I have to, relitigate my feelings on it, I think it was a perfect storm. Both people were wrong. They came together like this. Bad shit happened, but Zimmerman survived that. Keltec decides to give him back a gun to show we're rah-rah about the Second Amendment, and they try to do it secretly. Nothing like that's going to be secret. They had Zimmerman at the instead of just quietly going, okay, what's your address or what's your FFL? We'll ship you out a gun and keep it all on the down low. They actually invited him to the factory. People took pictures, and someone released a picture, and that went out, and it was all over the news. And I think this is a stupid move. As much as I like Keltec and people there, that's a stupid move. It's a dumb thing to do, stupid shit like that. When we get caught up in those things, we're not thinking about what we're doing. So I don't like when companies do this kind of shit.
How many companies are going to be jumping at Kyle Rittenhouse's neck the moment that boy is found not guilty? Because he's not going to be found guilty. He's going to get off. And I
I'm not
think
sure.
he's going...
Yeah.
Who said that, John?
No, that's me. I said I'm not sure, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
John better not be trying to... Well, John better not trying to be ducking out. So you could do whatever you want to do, John. You better get your camera back.
I mean, I'm having some issues with my sound.
No. Okay. Don't even try that.
Unacceptable. We don't want to hear that.
So I don't know really what's going to happen just based on politics, and we're not really dealing with justice, like I said before. My personal thing with Rittenhouse is that I when I looked at everything and I saw the situation going on, I think he was fighting for his life, right? But I don't know. Sure. I don't know whether or not he's going to be found guilty. Like, I'm 50-50 on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Because politics.
I'm one that I think the kid being there was completely stupid. He should not have been there at all.
I could agree with that.
If you watch what's on film, obviously, to me, it's clear as day that he was defending himself.
He was fighting for his life. Yeah.
Right. Now, what is still unclear is those first shots that went off and why he actually shot the first guy. Mm-hmm. I think that's still unclear, but I mean, from what we've seen, he had every right to pull the trigger when he pulled it.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at the whole story of that, we're not the jurors, and that's the reason why I'm worried about how things happen in America now. We're not the jurors, obviously, right? We're not. So who knows what they're actually going to see and what they're not going to see. But it seems like to me these people would threaten him. One of those guys was threatening him through the night. People were shooting shots in the air. There were people trying to attack. I agree with you. He should never. The number one way to defend yourself in these situations is don't fucking be there.
Yeah.
In the first place, if you see it coming, avoid it. Right. That's the number one way to do that. But he wound up there for whatever reason. But this goes back to what I'm trying to say. Sometimes, that nobility in our head, it's like Game of Thrones. That's how you wind up there getting your head chopped off in front of your daughter, like in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Because you don't realize what's the priorities. If it was my kid, I'd be really mad. I'm going to try to defend him, of course. But I'm going to be like, why did you put yourself in a situation you didn't have to be in?
Right.
And I'm not mad at companies, there are companies trying to support him and all that kind of stuff. I think it's a little bit different from what happened with Zimmerman. Zimmerman had his faults here, and there was things that he did wrong. Okay? Trayvon Martin had his faults, and there's things that went wrong. I don't think neither one of them should have been in that situation. Trayvon Martin probably could have, he should not be dead. So there's like no winners. There's no winners in that situation, right? And I think with Rittenhouse, it's kind of the same thing in that he had no business over there, but we were also looking at a time when we look back on it that this is a time when all these politicians who are mad of what happened in the Capitol were basically just standing back and letting people burn down cities, and this kid was trying to do something about that. So,
right,
that's where it gets complicated.
Yeah, it does.
Did anything ever happen with the guy that was the quote unquote felon who had the handgun in the first place?
I think
didn't he get his arm blown off?
Yeah, he got his hand and he was all blown up on his
John,
hand. And
what
stuff,
happened with that?
Nothing ever came of him.
Yeah.
Everything's focused on.
I don't think he was actually a felon.
No, he wasn't.
I thought he was like a sex offender.
The bald guy. I don't. I think he was convicted of a misdemeanor, not a felon.
Okay, all right.
Well, he was a registered sex offender, right?
He was. Yeah, that's true.
That's bad enough for me.
Yeah. Well,
I'm with D. I'm with D.
Matter.
Well, he did. Well, he did. You know what? He said, "I will give an arm and a leg for this protest," and I guess he gave an arm.
Oh, listen, and I'm not trying to. Listen. If someone is genuinely what I consider a sex offender, I have no empathy, sympathy, or anything for them. However, we are living in a country where you could be like 18 and you date a 16-year-old girl and you wind up in that category or something. So, I don't know. What his circumstances are particularly.
His was like a 12-year-old or something.
Oh no, then he should be in the wood chipper.
Yeah, but he.
Don't matter.
Huh?
Have you ever seen when people get caught up in that argument of like, oh, you think everybody should have guns, so you think pedophiles should? I'll be like, I don't think they should be alive. So no, I don't think they should have those. That's the one group of people I want to be around here, being the easiest target for anybody to kill.
If they fit the true definition.
If they're proven, if they fit the true definition, they're proven to be a pedophile. I need you to, if you're not already dead, you're going to be the easiest target possible.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
Because what you did is, you can't come back from that.
Yeah. Okay, John, you can hit us with your news things.
All right. Well, first, the pedophile thing. I just want to make a comment on that. I think we should make a national microwave where you can stick them all in at like dinner time instead of like 2 minutes.
Target practice.
Oh boy.
No, just a big microwave.
What's up,
Okay. I got a couple good stories. One ever from my show, and the other one I saved for this show tonight.
Oh, really? Did you? Okay. All right.
No, I did.
That.
Okay. The first story is that this is ATF. ATF has suspended all issuance of opinion letters until after the new rulings come out. So everyone who has an opinion letter right now, it's on hold until after the thing. So you're probably looking about 6 months, and then everyone else is going to have to submit their products again, which will back it up even more. So we're looking at years and years for everyone to get their stuff back because of this pause. JSD got an email this morning saying, "Hey, we're not gonna approve or even look at your things that we had for a year, which includes a 80% CZ Scorpion, 80% P365, and 80% MP Shield." So none of those items are going to get looked at all by the ATF right now.
That sucks.
Until after that. And the last thing that was approved, someone put through a Scar 17 80%er. That was approved, but that was the last thing, and so we're looking probably at probably a year before anybody starts getting approval letters for.
So at some point, so the silver lining is at some point we can expect an 80% Scar 17 to be in the world.
Yeah, it's approved.
Okay. Do we know? Can we talk about what company that is? And then I'll get.
I don't know what the company is.
Oh, interesting. Okay, then the bad part of it is so now everything is locked up until they sort this out, right? So
Correct.
Everything. So any.
And then they're asking every.
So any new kind of
Like,
guns
and
that
they're
we could
requesting-
see out there, like any kind of new guns, anything like that's locked up until all of this gets resolved.
Yeah, any type of 80% or pistol stabilizing braces are locked up. And the approval process. One of the interesting things is they're asking everyone who already has a letter to resubmit their items for like review again, which will push everything else way back. So,
So
right
does
now
that?
the wait's about a year, maybe a little bit over a year. So that's gonna, like, if you introduce thousands and thousands of rifles and other things and handguns in there, when right now 360 some items have them backed up a year, and you quadruple or even more than that, double that, you're looking at a massive backlog.
So okay, so regular guns are going through, right? But they're taking
Regular
time.
guns, yeah,
Okay,
about a year.
but anything that's pistol brace related or 80% related, that's all on hold. But then you're saying so people who already have approval letters. So for example, the tail hook, right? They have to resubmit that.
Yeah, that's they're going to have to, if the new regulations pass. They have to.
Oh,
They
if
are
the new
heavily
regulations.
encouraged.
Okay, if the new regulations go through, they have to resubmit it, but not right now. Right now, all of that is legal to buy. However, if these regulations are allowed to go through, all of a sudden people will find themselves with illegal pieces of plastic, right?
They might. They might. The piece of plastic won't be illegal, but the item that it's on would be.
Depending on the item you put it on and however many points
Yeah,
or whatever you get. Okay.
yeah, yeah. If we only had this an idea this back in last, like, November or so, that this is
Yeah,
coming down.
I don't know. If someone was trying to tell us about it, it would have been helpful. But unfortunately, we
Yeah,
don't have.
yeah.
Yeah, we don't have a white knight that was riding up on a white hat on. You know, with the initials JC, and we're not talking about Jesus Cristo or anything like that. You know,
Yeah.
we're talking about John Crump.
Well, that did happen, but he was attacked, and
Right.
people thought that I was making it up for clout or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think that's been
Whatever.
proven. Okay, so that's bad news. What's the other thing in there?
Okay, this is another thing that I haven't even written about tonight. I was going to write about it tonight, but I'm going to let you know right now. You all heard that, the Biden administration is going to go after white supremacists, right? Well,
I didn't hear that. Yeah, I didn't hear that, but
Yeah, well,
I didn't hear that either.
Or maybe,
no. Yeah.
well, it's probably not, and maybe it's not out yet.
Hmm.
But I got a copy of the FBI's playbook for that. And on page 19, it states to end white supremacy and to stop the spread of white supremacy, they need to limit the tools of white supremacy. So they're going to use legal prohibition and other legal means to stop the proliferation of assault rifles and magazines.
So okay, so people who have guns are white supremacists. If you have guns, you're a white supremacist.
Yeah, if you read the FBI's notice. Well, it didn't come out and say
Wow.
that. It says that assault weapons and magazines are tools of white supremacy. Whatever the hell that means.
Mm. I think the lack of them are tools for government supremacy. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so
You know,
so,
I mean, that's-
so they're gonna start targeting like the marketing, using all their means possible to stop the
so
proliferation.
if Alicia,
of magazines and
the
assault rifles.
boomstick babe has an AR, do you have any ARs, Alicia?
Yeah, on my boat somewhere.
Oh, oh, about to have an
Yeah, I
accident.
Yes, I do.
Yes. So if she can wake up and look in the mirror and realize that she's a white supremacist against her own self.
Yeah, she would have to name her kid Forrest, for Nathan Bedford Forrest. That
Oh,
might be a little bit too.
I don't even know what that. Does anyone get that reference? Because I don't.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't
That's
get
a
that
John
reference.
joke.
Yeah, if someone gets that
That's a
reference,
John
please. Let us know if you get that reference. You put it in the chat right now and smash the thumbs ups just for that.
I'm
This is the
sure
thing is
people.
like
I'm sure people would know who I'm talking about.
by saying
That's
white
the guy that.
supremacist, what is there a definition now of what white supremacy is?
Good question.
You're white and you
Anti-gunners.
don't like Biden. I
Shannon
don't
Watts.
know.
Shannon Watts is the #1 white supremacist in the country.
Okay.
I will die
Yeah.
on that hill.
Mm-hmm.
Shannon Watts and David Hogg are the two most racist people in America, and obviously Joe Biden. But
Right.
He's not racist against kids. He loves kids of all colors, literally.
ew.
He likes them rubbing his hair on his legs,
Yeah.
and he's
So-
also friends with Porn Pop.
So, do we not have a definition of what white supremacist, what that is, in order to
The government.
find them?
Well,
And
for example, one of the groups they list are the 3%ers, which I find hilarious.
Right.
Because Devin is a
so you don't have
3%er.
to be white to be a white supremacist.
No.
No. You gotta remember, the guy from Patriot Prayer they consider a white supremacist, and he's Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
Good God.
Yeah.
So,
Votes have repercussions, folks.
Yeah.
The Proud Boys leader, they consider him a white supremacist, and his name is Enrique. I've never heard of a guy named Enrique that was a white supremacist.
Well, he's a snitch, so there's that.
He's not snitch, but he's not a white supremacist.
Right. Yeah.
No, but he's a
Beyond the
snitch.
point.
That's probably just as bad.
So, this is the thing, and this is just me talking out loud here and showing how I think. If we're going to start targeting groups of people, is this the government's way of getting support to target quote unquote white supremacists? So when they start targeting other groups, like they did the Black Panthers, like they did, other ethnic groups, this is just their way of sweetening up the deal to get everybody on board to say, yes, this kind of behavior is okay and we're going to support this behavior?
Well, it's always been that way. You can look back through history. Even to the founding of the country, they've used the same techniques. Past the founding of the country, it's been used all through history. What you do is you label and demonize a person. It doesn't matter if it's true or not, but if you label and demonize a person, you can get enough people behind you to go after those people. Hitler did that with the Jewish people, right? These guys control all the banks, everything else. They must be evil because they control the banks. We've seen this time and time again. It's a system of control, and until we realize that,
it's just the divide and conquer that's coming more.
Yeah, it's divide and conquer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's what Hoover did to the civil rights movement and all the black leaders. And then slowly but surely, each one of them got plucked off.
Yeah. It's what happened when there were a lot of white people in America that agreed to adding gun laws to the books because they were maybe worried about what free slaves would do, thinking
Black
that
codes,
that wouldn't affect me. Yeah, but now it somehow affects. Like anything that goes into the laws is going to affect everyone. Today it affects everyone. Today everyone should be worried about slavery. That's
look at the Mumford Act. The Mumford Act out in California, for example.
That was designed to attack the Black Panthers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That and the abolishment of Friday night sales. Is that what it was, John? Yeah. Friday night specials. That's what it was.
You should always
Saturday
be worried.
Night specials.
Saturday night, yeah. You should always be worried about, like Devin was talking about, Shannon Watts and
David Hogg.
David Hogg. You should always be worried about people out there who see you as pets and think that that they are the ones who need to protect you. You need to protect yourself. Any group that tries to do that and say, listen, you don't know what's good for you, just give us these laws and we're just going to use it against these people over here and we'll make life better for you.
Can I give you a story? I tell this story all the time about why I called David Hogg the most racist white guy in America. So I went, John, you remember this. The first time I did any activist type thing, right? I went to one of his marches that was here. Yes, and you were supposed to be there and you faked. So remember that part too.
No, I was sick.
Whatever, you didn't show up.
Oh, the
So,
truth is coming out.
They came. March for Our Lives came to the NRA headquarters. That was like 5 minutes from my house. So
Right.
we get there, me and one of my old friends, and we were killing the crowd, and we're just
Not
walking through the
John,
crowd,
not
talking
John.
to people. No,
Yeah,
no, 'cause
not
he
John.
faked on us.
Right. Okay.
But one of his people actually is listening to our conversation. One of his black followers that's like with March for Our Lives, right?
Okay.
This kid goes to David Hogg and then has a conversation with him, brings us to David Hogg and was like, hey, you guys should have a conversation about firearm safety and everything because these guys have some information that we might not be missing. And he was like, nah, we're not doing any of that. Like, just flat out was like, nah, we're not doing that. I was like, oh, so like you're racist and you want to silence people. So I looked at the boy. I was like, yo, like, I hope this shows you exactly what you were advocating for. Like, he's not into solutions. He just wants you to hear his side of things. And I think right then was like one of the first times I ever flipped somebody in like an instant on the Second Amendment. And yeah, to this day, the kid is way more freedom-minded than he was before that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Devin,
That's
tell
it.
the story about in Richmond, the lady that could not believe that you were with us, and she thought that we were against us when you were holding the picture of Northam in the KKK and the blackface, actually.
Oh, yeah.
That was hilarious.
So I was talking to this teacher. It's another good time when I flip somebody. But I was talking to this teacher, and this white lady comes up to me, and she goes, they would love that. And she points to like John and Jordan Stein. And I'm looking at her like, what the hell is she talking about? And she's like, I guess she didn't realize that like I was
Devin.
with them. Yeah.
I was like, Devin, I said, Devin, I think she thinks that you're on her side.
Yeah, and I was like, nah, lady, like,
Assumptions.
right. And I was like, she said something. I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, white lady, like, get out of here. And we just continued with our conversation. But like, that's another example of why I say Moms Demand Action is the new KKK. Like, who the hell are you to come and just impose your will and inject yourself into this conversation? Well, I'm talking to another black woman right here. Like, get the hell out of here. But yeah.
Well,
Moms
people
Demand
who have
Action,
who have preconceived notions of what we're supposed to believe and who we're supposed to be and all that. This is what the problem is, and I think we were talking about that from the beginning of this conversation. You know, if I meet someone that's anti-gun, I don't get mad at them. I'm just like, so what's up? What's the thing? Like, explain what it is to me. Like, where are you coming from, or what it is, and I try to find that out. I genuinely want to know. I'm not trying to. Me personally, I'm not trying to evangelize and make people do what I'm doing, but I feel like I should be there if people do want to know something, if they want to ask me something, if I could somehow help them. But everyone should be able to make their own decisions. Anytime you're dealing with people who are saying, nope, this is what it is, you have to believe what we're saying and what we're telling you, otherwise, you're not with us or whatever, that's definitely an indication that you have a problem, and these are people looking to enslave you or make you into their pets, and that's the problem with anyone who is like that.
Like when Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. Like, bro, you've locked up more black people than anybody. Who the hell are you to tell me I have to vote for you?
Good thing I didn't vote for him
I
because
call
I'm
it
clearly
the
not
avatar.
black.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm 1% black, so there you go. But I call it the not the Joe Biden, the avatar theory, right? The avatar effect, where an avatar, the blue aliens are being able to take advantage of until the white savior comes in. And that's basically what people like Shannon
that's what they see themselves as.
And Joe Biden see themselves as.
Everyone has to free themselves. Now, I don't know if anyone wants to have this conversation. Didn't Joe Biden just, what is going on here? Yeah, didn't Joe Biden just sign in Juneteenth or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
He did something like making it a holiday.
Yeah. Now, I'm not going to knock however people want to feel about it, but I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to, that we have no reason on the face of this planet, not just in America, to celebrate the end of slavery. There is no end of slavery. It never ends. You have to get up every
Well, it's
day.
just a different form of slavery these days.
You have to get up every day and fight to be free. Every day you need to get, like, slavery is mental. The first place that it is mental. It's a physical thing that happens. I'm not trying, don't start going, Kanye West on me, but I'm telling you that the biggest component to slavery is mental. And if you think that you're free somehow, you get up and you don't fight. It's like my dad used to tell me, if you think you know everything, you stop learning.
Well, okay. Here's what I think about slavery. Slavery still exists all around the world in all different places. Technically, there's more slaves now than there's ever been, and there's still slavery in the United States. Like, yeah, absolutely, there's still slavery in the United States. So slavery is still going on in the United States, and I don't think that's getting enough shine. And we need to actually look into modern day slavery and in that as well. I mean, slavery is wrong. Slavery is evil. And we need to end it.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it ironic as hell that Joe Biden, who signed in the '94 crime bill, who literally is, you have to be like the patriarch of modern day slavery, is trying to gain and pander to black people by signing in Juneteenth that black people have been celebrating for forever. Like, I don't even think black people really asked for it to be a holiday. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I find that ironic as hell. Like,
it's just a bait and switch. It's, hey, look over here and look at something good I'm doing.
Yeah,
it's to distract you from all the shit I'm doing over here that you know,
absolutely.
all the gun laws and everything are passing this way.
Like,
so let me appease the people with something they think that they want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We go to the range on
all it always is.
Like with National Range Day, but like, I didn't give a damn, and like, I'm not gonna ask for a white person to validate a black holiday. Like, it's just not.
But you called me up last night.
Joe Biden signs it in or not? It was already a thing.
What was that?
So like, that's just to create the illusion of unity and the illusion that he's speaking for the minority voice.
Yeah.
When really all the other laws that he's passing are anti-American, anti-freedom, that is pretty much against all voices that need to be heard.
Yeah, it's just like when Biden was at the G7, I think it was a G7 summit that recently happened, and Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of England, was, he was talking and he introduced everyone that was at the table, and Biden says, "Oh, you forgot about the South African Prime Minister?" And Boris Johnson was like, "Okay, and the South African Prime Minister, but I didn't forget about him. I did mention him." And he's reminding Biden. But why is Biden reminding him? It's virtue signaling, like, "Oh, you forgot the black guy at the table." Did you guys see this? Did anyone see this story?
No, I didn't see that.
Because they told him to do it. Like, no matter if he introduced him.
Joe Biden's not going to remember.
Yeah, I have a real hard time just believing that Joe Biden isn't just a puppet with somebody's, if not many, hands up his ass. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I've lost a lot of faith in who our president is anyway. To me, it's just like, they all golf together. It's like, it's such an illusion to me about who's going to be the next president of the United States. It really doesn't matter because they're all on the same team. They're all on the same golf team. They're still on the capitalist team of, we're in cahoots with one another. It's just disguising the people of, the divide and conquer, red versus blue, pro-gun versus anti-gun, pro-abortion versus anti-abortion. It's all this, let's do what we can to divide the people. Let's use fear methods to break the people down. And let's, pretty much blind people with their own fears of what's going on in the world to create, a fight amongst our people so they can fight amongst themselves, so we can come over here and do whatever the hell we want. And then let's just bait them with these things that make them feel warm and fuzzy while we're over here creating, laws to create criminals out of law-abiding citizens. So it's like, here you go. Whatever you guys want to believe, it's just a puppet show is all it is.
Yeah, it's just like it's just like Amazon Prime, putting up these big things, Black Lives Matter, all over kind of shit, and then you see, oh, here's the black movies or whatever, and then the way they treat their employees is fucked up. They treat their employees like slaves. You don't need that. Every day you get up and you fight for your own freedom. That's what you're supposed to do. I don't, like, I'm not knocking anyone for celebrating Juneteenth or whatever. Like, I get it. I understand, right? I personally I don't even celebrate my own birthday. I don't. That's why, like, I
celebrate Hank's birthday.
I don't celebrate shit. I deliberately, the people around me, like Lola and the kids, I try to, like, acknowledge their stuff. I think you don't celebrate. Every day you get up and you keep working. Everything that you have to keep working and fighting for it. Otherwise, you're not going to have it. The minute that you accept all this nonsense that someone gives you, you're putting yourself in the matrix. That's what you're doing. You're creating an illusion around yourself that you have some kind of freedom and that someone has given you something or done something for you. No one ever does that. Every single day you have to fight to be free. And there's white people in this country that are slaves, and black people and Asian people and men and women and gay people. Everyone's going through this shit, and every day you have to get up and you have to fight for that, and you have to stop. Like, I get it. We're human beings and we want to cry and complain about shit around us. Just get up every day and keep fighting. That's what this is about.
But the thing is, we live in a modern day illusion of the cave. Like, if you look back into it was either Socrates or Plato's allegory of the cave. If you live in this cave, you're staring at this wall with these images being projected towards you, and everybody just gets up, lives in the cave, looks at the images projected to them, but nobody looks behind to see where those images are coming from or who's projecting those images. Why? Because it goes against the norm, right? It's not what everybody else is doing. And if you do that, you're the bad guy. So what happens to the guy that questions where the images are coming from? He goes and investigates, and he figures it's just another person that, just like him, putting those images against the wall. So what does he do? The Wizard of Oz. He says, well, where's that light coming from? He crawls out of the cave. Well, now it hurts his eyes because it's blinding. Well, now he realizes he's in a cave. All these people that we're talking about, they don't realize that they're living in a cave. They don't. And they're happy in their comfortable little warm, slave-ridden comfortability. It's warm and fuzzy.
Yeah.
Comfort.
Alicia, you're a philosopher.
I've always said that.
You drop in knowledge.
I mean,
dropping knowledge.
But that's the truth, right?
Yeah.
Comfort is the killer of dreams. And so what are we doing when we give people holidays and stuff like this? We validate their comfortability. Like, this made you uncomfortable. Well, let's make you comfortable with this a little bit more. So you take more of what we feed you, because we're giving you the illusion that we're on your team and we're advocating for your team. You're really not. You're just, feeding me slop. You know what I mean? It's the lipstick on the pig. It's the shit burrito. It's like, here, let me just doll it up for you. It's still the same underneath. But as long as people keep unifying in their belief systems, like, you have to feel this way too. You have to support this too, because the word racism is being thrown around right now like rice at a wedding by everybody, by every race under the sun. Is because if people don't like something, the platform that they get heard the most is, that's racism. That's racist. So it's like now you have people saying, well, you have to go with this or else we're going to ostracize you, because we're going to label you this ugly thing. And if you don't want to be labeled this ugly thing, join us over here. And kind of, it's just a new form of conformity. That's all it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Lola's sending me messages that we're all bullying John and not letting him get any words in, which I mean, John,
I didn't.
John is bullying us. Damn it,
John! I've never met you before. I would never bully you.
I would.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing, but since Devin said it, I'm gonna leave it alone. John, go ahead, man. First of all, whose birds?
Devin,
whose birds are that? Whose birds are chirping?
Yeah, I'm outside.
Oh, you're outside. Okay, so that's those nice.
He lives in the gangster's paradise. Remember?
Yeah. Those are those hoity-toity Virginia birds chirping. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, John.
I don't know.
They have doves in his neighborhood.
Yeah.
But no, I prefer dangerous freedom over peaceful servitude any day of the week. We all have to work hard to take the red pill, and it's not an easy thing to wake up and realize what the reality really is. It's more comfortable to be hand coddled, but at the end, do you really want to live in a world where you live in an illusion where you actually don't have freedom, or would you rather trade all your days for the one day and go freedom?
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing. That's the bad part. Is if you really ask people, they do want to live in the illusion. They want to live.
Not me. I'm like Kendrick. Is it Kendrick Lamar? I want the stretch
farm
marks. I want to see some stretch marks.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the Photoshop. You know, I want to see the real.
In the world,
I want to see the real deal.
Check the neck.
Oh, God.
And the
You know,
world.
John dropped some knowledge and we totally destroyed it.
Capital of the world. The only thing we look at is your hands and your Adam's apple to see if you have one, because you could be in any part of that transition.
Okay, that's true.
Why did we all go blurry but you, Hank?
I don't know. I don't know what's up with you guys. I'm good. Everything's good over here. I don't know why you guys. Maybe it's the software or something doing something. Okay, listen. We hit the 9 o'clock hour. We hit the wall. This was actually like I didn't even notice time going by here. This was awesome. I'm glad John joined. Alicia is gangster. She's like a gangster philosopher, you know. And of course, Devin. It's never boring having a conversation with Devin ever.
Hey,
So-
I want to say, Devin, I need to talk to you. See if you want to shoot a commercial on Saturday for something.
I do.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
I do.
Lola
Something
says
I do.
we're killing her. Okay, listen. Here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do, everyone. This is what we're gonna do here. We're gonna go around the clock. We'll start with John Crump, since he came in here last. John Crump, tell the people, you know, where can they find your social media? How can they support you, talk to you, etc.
If you want to talk
Trench
to me,
work,
no,
Chronicles, everything.
no,
Content.
I don't. What you guys need to do is you need to go buy stuff on Black Swan Tactical. That would really rock, and that would really help
Gang,
me out.
gang.
All the money goes to charity.
Oh boy.
But yeah, so that's really cool. You can get the Flying Rich collection over there right now. The original Florida man. Real John Crump on Instagram, Crumpy.com is basically you can go and find everywhere else. I do live streams almost every day, and I have a news channel, and I break a lot of news at AmmoLand.com. And I see 2AEDU out there, one of the smartest guys on YouTube. Everyone,
Yeah.
instead of checking me out, go check out 2AEDU. I'm
Yeah,
serious.
shout out to
You
2A.
won't regret it.
When are we? Lola is somewhere in the chat. When the hell are we getting 2A EDU on the show so we can actually get some viewers? Like that's one dude that gets when he goes live, he gets some views, man.
Jesus.
Yeah, we need
like
we
he'll
need
get,
some
like,
of that mojo.
hundreds.
Yeah, we need some of that
and,
mojo. Go ahead.
And in about an hour, I will be on CRS Firearms.
Oh, okay. So you're not planning on sleeping anytime soon.
I know. I slept. I don't need to sleep for another couple months.
Yes.
Love
Okay.
you, Lola.
Yes. So let's go to Alicia, the boomstick babe. It was fun.
Yay, yay.
You were awesome on the show. We have to listen. You could come on here whenever you want to. I'll be happy
I
to
love
have
you
you come
guys.
on the
You
show
guys are so
whenever
great
you
to
want
me.
to. Yes. So tell
appreciate
everyone
it.
out there how they can support you. I hope people do support that organization that you were talking about. Tell folks about that. How can they find out more? How can they support you? Help give you some money or do anything else that you need. To
Send
get
me all
stuff
your
done.
money. My name is Alicia Garcia. You can at me on IG. I think it's the Boomstick Babe. On there, I also have. You can email me if you're old school. Alicia@boomstickbabe.com. I have a website, highestcaliber.org, that is really needing to get updated, but it's put together now with hopes to change some language on there because the person that I had helping me really wasn't into the gun language. I also have an IG at highestcaliber.org. And yeah, support me. Check it out. I will get some links up for donations going on here shortly, probably in the next 48 hours.
Okay, do you want before we're going to go to Devin here in a second? Do you want anyone to go to your IG, the Boomstick Babe?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
Didn't I
okay.
say that?
Yeah.
At
Okay.
The
Yeah.
Boomstick Babe on
Here
IG.
you go. I'm showing it. If
That's
you want
me.
if you want a bunch of people to go to it, here I'm going to play this video right here, which is on there. Right
Oh
here.
gosh.
This is what
That was
Alicia
me.
does when it's hot in Colorado, apparently. I'm gonna get in so much trouble with Lola for that one.
You know, there's very few things that embarrass me right now, and I just got super embarrassed.
And there's gonna be a whole bunch of dudes over here going over to check out the
No
Boomstick Babe.
thirst trapping. No thirst trapping.
Yeah.
No. Please. None of
Yes,
that.
I don't think Devin's gonna have anything like that for you guys out there, but Devin Trenchwork Chronicles. Where
Oh,
can
Give us a magic
oh,
mic,
where-
Miss D.
where can people
Wow.
where can people
That's
go?
funny. All platforms, Trenchwork Chronicles. If you Google Trenchwork Chronicles, I'm the only thing that comes up.
Yeah, I'm
Other
gonna
than that,
show.
Not
I'm gonna
anymore.
show. I'm gonna show your IG. Which one? What do you have like that on here? Trenchwork
oh yeah.
Chronicles. Oh, here you go. Here's some
Um,
sexy. Here's some sexy dudishness going on right here. You know,
Hey.
this is the domination stance right here from Devin right there.
that was the mission accomplished stance. The
Okay,
train
all
and learn.
right.
That was the last day of train and learn, and yeah, that was when I was like, okay, I can breathe now.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's for so that we did that. We did that to Alicia, and now we showed a crotch shot of you for everyone listening on audio of Devin. So it's there's two equal and equal opportunity crotch shots showing up on the Hank Strange situation. That's how we do it around here. Okay, Devin's not
Hank
done.
Strange is
Go-
my
Devin's not done.
target
Um,
officially.
Wow, this went
definitely
way down
follow
the
me.
toilet really fast.
Definitely follow me on Instagram. That's where you're gonna find all the interesting stuff. And you can also support our outreach program at Kids to Kings. Go to that IG page. You can see what we're about, and you can hit the link in that bio and support us financially. Because honestly, that's what we all need right now.
Definitely.
We're trying to get into these schools so we can help these kids and turn them to kings. So
Absolutely. Yeah. I hope you
Oh, and
folks.
you can also buy these shirts. Truth is the New Hate Speech at arlife.com. That link's in one of my bios too.
Okay,
Yeah.
sweet.
Go buy
I hope
some
you.
shit.
I hope you guys support Devin also in his efforts. You know, I personally would appreciate everyone doing that, as well as supporting all of these guys. I want to thank everyone, including you folks out there who are listening to this, the people who are smashing the thumbs ups, all of that. I do want to thank Franklin Armory. We are going to go to the end and then come back here, but really I do appreciate all of you guys coming on the show, making it a fun show. I'm always trying to show people that we can have fun, talk about serious things, and do all of that wrapped up in one. So I hope you guys appreciated that. Now, go check out Trenchwork Chronicles, okay, out there. John Crump has like a cajillion different things going on that I can't even freaking remember all of the things that he has going on. Check that out. I hope.
Yeah, he calls me a Jamaican.
Yeah. You know, you're white Jamaican. There's white Jamaicans out there that talk in patois and all
I
of
have
that.
no idea what that means.
Yeah. So in other words, there's like white people that say, "Hey, mom, what to go on?" They talk like that. They're actual Jamaicans. They were born there and they talk that way. Listen,
Top shot, top boy.
booyaka. All right, listen. Here's what I want. I would like to see Alicia on Trenchworks and on John Crump stuff, and you guys all doing things. I'm not trying to put pressure, but it would be awesome if the love gets shared here and you guys give a platform to Alicia, as well as
Absolutely.
the folks out there listen to you guys and give you all a platform as well. There's a really good interview with me on Trenchwork Chronicles that no one else has out there, right, Devin? Am I making it up?
No
Yes.
one else.
Yes.
I'm just saying, like I've heard from other people that I'm like the best interview.
I think
Specifically,
you're pretty
Kevin
good.
Dixie's giving me that. But
Yeah, I think you're pretty good.
I like to ask. The in-depth questions.
Yeah, he really cares. He really cares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to listen to the stories. I'm a story guy, and your story is fucking crazy.
Yes. So if you're interested in that, go check that out, Trenchwork Chronicles. Crump doesn't even know I've been on his show. He doesn't care about me. He's always just telling me about Black Swan Tactical. I'm kidding. He's good. Okay, listen. I'm gonna run in the end. Everyone stay right there. We're gonna come back. Alicia is gonna give us the words of wisdom. We're not gonna be here tomorrow. I have a whole bunch of different things going on this weekend, so I need some time to like catch up to stuff that has to happen on the weekend. But we're almost out of here, so I'm gonna run in the end. We're gonna come back. Alicia is gonna drop words of wisdom on us. Let's do it right now. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. I appreciate everyone out there listening, smashing the thumbs ups, sharing this, all that kind of good stuff. We're gonna rip out the audio from this, throw it up on iTunes and all your favorite places to listen to your audio podcast from. Alicia, the Boomstick Babe. That's where you guys need to go check out, especially if you're listening on audio. If you want to see what we all saw over here, you're gonna have to go to that on IG. Hit us with your words of wisdom. Go ahead.
Words of wisdom. Leave things better than you found it. Talk to your elders. Get involved in your community. Put your phones down. Pick up some books. be a better person, man. Be good to each other. Love each
Amen.
other.
Thank you. Appreciate all you guys for coming on. I'll see everyone next week. We're out of here. Peace.